And so we're going to go ahead and try to select our presiding officers. We already know our docket order, and we can go ahead and just do what we do best. So we're going to need 4 POs. Who would like to preside? Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and so what we are going to do, I will actually write everyone's name down here on the board, one at a time. Everyone can come up, give a quick 10-15 seconds spiel explaining why you should be the presiding officer, and then we will do a quick little election and decide our POs. Okay, so again, everyone just hold your placket up if you're interested one more time. And then once you see me write your name down, go ahead and put it in. Gotcha. Just making sure. Okay. Okay, so these are our nominees in order. If the following individuals could come on up, give their quick spiel, and as they're doing that, if everyone else can take a small slip of paper, not like tiny, because if I lose it, your vote doesn't count. So a small piece of paper, get ready, and we will do a vote once they're done.
Am I good just to stand up here?
You're fine.
Okay. Hello everyone, my name is Representative Sigerson. I have both at the local and state final level. And some of you have been in my chamber yesterday or today, and thought I just did a good job. Thank you.
I'm Senator Coleman, spelled C-O-L-E-M-A-N. I PO'd at the district level, and as of today and yesterday, I PO'd at the state level. I promised to run a fast and efficient chamber, and if you were in my room and I PO'd, vote. Thank you.
Hi everybody, my name is Representative Chabria. I promise to run a fast, efficient, and equitable chamber like the presiding officers before me have stated, and I've also done it at the state and local levels.
Hello everybody, I am Representative Hyber, and I would like to first of all congratulate everyone for being here. It's a very big opportunity. I have PO'd on the local, state, and national level, and I do recognize some of your faces from earlier today in the competition or previous competitions before, and so if you know me, you know I operate my chamber obviously by the 3 Fs, very cliche, with a strong emphasis on fast, as I do not want to be in here any longer than I have to, and so if you want a fasted chamber, vote for Hyber.
Hello everyone, I'm Representative Marks. I also want to congratulate all of us for making it to the final round. As of yesterday, I have PO'd at the local and state level, and I promise to run an efficient chamber, so I hope you vote for me. Thank you.
Okay, so that being said, those are our nominees. Go ahead and write one of those individuals on that slip of paper, and then pass it up, and then over to your left, and then I will collect the name. I'll also note, as I'm doing this, that I did put up our very tentative, little mini block times. We'll try to take a break at about, 5 minutes to go until the top of the hour, just to be able to switch our POs, go take a walk around, take a breath, whatever you need to do.
Okay. Is the judging more fun? They're tweeting now.
And a quick note from the tab room, Judge Veranda needs to click start.
Oh.
Just a quick heads up. No, it's easy, I can just get it right to my watch and let you know. So, we actually have a clean vote. That almost never happens. We don't have to re-vote or anything. Yay, okay. So our first choice of blocks goes to Representative Chabria.
I will choose the third block.
Okay. Great. Okay, and then our second choice will go to Representative Seckerson.
I will choose I'll choose the last one.
Okay.
And, I have a question, is precedent and recency resetting?
It is not going to
It is not,
reset or
okay.
flip at any point during this session. And then third choice goes to Representative Coleman.
I will take first session, please.
Okay. And then our last session, session 2, will go to Representative Marks. Senator Marks, I've realized I'm saying the wrong thing the entire time. I qualified to nationals in the Senate, and I served. Okay.
Point of inquiry.
Yeah.
Do the judges mind if we accidentally call them representative, or does anyone care about the titles?
We don't even.
I would prefer the judges not to. Because
Okay.
again, I just said I'm a
Offensive.
parliamentarian,
Oh my
I went to
gosh.
nationals, I was in the Senate.
Who?
I said representatives the entire time forever. It's okay. I know it's
Very
very
good
habitual
chance,
for
I
some of
guess.
you.
Just when you take your placard up, make sure we can see your name.
That's the most
Yeah.
important thing, yeah. Okay, but that being said, we have our POs, we have our docket, we have our judges, we have all of our competitors. Let's get debating. So, PO number 1, Representative Coleman, you have the floor.
Okay,
Senator
just give
Coleman.
me 1 second to get situated. Where should I sit?
Yeah, so technically, I could give you this seat, but then you'd have to go around like my screen. Okay, you take this spot, I'm gonna move over here.
Okay.
If you need me, I'm there.
All right, cool, thank you.
Yep. Keep it simple. Clean professional.
Okay, hi, I'm Representative Coleman. Thank you for allowing me to be your PO. I will quickly go through my procedures. I do 1 gavel tap at 2 minutes for speeches, 2 at 2:30, 3 at 2:55, and then starting at 3:05 to 3:10, I will stand up, I will gavel you down, and then at 3:10, I will verbally cut you off if you are still going. For questioning, I give 1 tap at 20 seconds, 2 taps at 30 seconds, and after 20 seconds, I will point to the next questioner with the end of my gavel. I do not tolerate prefacing, which I define as the introduction of new information into debate. Anything that has not been stated by a previous speaker, anything that is not in the Constitution, or a common Supreme Court case such as Roe v. Wade, Brown v. Board of Education, etc., and anything that is obviously not common knowledge, such as the sky is blue and the grass is green. I also do not tolerate back and forth questioning, which I define as the speaker asking the questioner a non-clarification question, or the questioner making only statements towards the speaker. I believe I'm not leaving anything out, so without further ado, do we need a motion to begin debate?
Yes, we will. We'll need our general beginning motions.
Okay,
Motion to suspend the rules and vote by placard.
that is in order. Any seconds?
Second.
Any objection? All right, great. That passes. The motion? Yeah.
At the discretion of a parliamentarian, would we be allowed to have an open chamber?
Yes, we will, but obviously it's the final round, so do yourself use discretion. Just be considerate of folks who are speaking and only leave in between actual speakers.
Okay,
So I move for an open chamber.
Second.
any opposition? All right, that motion passes.
Motion, at the discretion of the parliamentarian and the judges, motion to suspend the rules of reading legislation.
I'm okay with that. If any judge would like legislation read to them, feel free to speak up.
Okay, that is in order. That motion- Any opposition? All right, great, that motion passes. The chair is seeking a motion to begin debate. Motion,
I move to begin debate.
that is in order. Any seconds?
Second.
Any objection? Great. So seeing as Seeing as there are no objections, we will now begin debate on piece of legislation F1, a bill to mandate AI watermarks. Give me 1 second to get my timer set up. And, okay. Great. So, first affirmatives for a bill to mandate AI watermarks. Please stand. Senator Vega, you stand unopposed.
Thank you. Good afternoon, all my judges. This is Senator Vega. I do say representative just because that's what's written on our placards. I believe I'm in seat 12, if that helps anybody, VEGA. And as soon as all of you guys are ready, just hand me a thumbs up and I'll be good. Good here. Good there. You good, both of you guys? All right. In 2023, Drake used AI to recreate Tupac's voice, and fans were outraged, rightfully so, and the song was eventually pulled. Now, what if AI was used to recreate political speeches, election results, and fake news? Well, it already is. If a song caused backlash, what happens when democracy is on the line? We do not want to know. So we passed it. So firstly, we passed today because AI-generated disinformation is a direct threat to our democracy. AI deepfakes have already been disrupting elections and our public trust. Look to the New York Times in last December, where we find that in 2024, fake AI-generated robocalls impersonating then President Biden urging voters to not participate in the New Hampshire primary. If we do not take action now, AI-powered deception will only become more sophisticated, misleading more of our voters and diminishing our election integrity. And the impact here is that it's a future where none of our constituents can actually trust what they see, hear, or read. Now, I understand that this bill will not eliminate misinformation, but by requiring AI-generated content to be clearly labeled, it arms voters with the truth. And understand that watermarking AI content does not infringe on free speech. I do not want to hear this today. Free speech is not the freedom to deceive. Just as we require disclaimers for political ads, this bill simply ensures transparency. Nowhere in it does it have censorship. Now, secondly, let's move on to my second contention, which is the fact that AI threatens the livelihood of our human creators. AI models have been caught plagiarizing artists, journalists, and musicians without any credit or compensation. Now, look at the British Broadcasting Centre, where we find in April 2023 another AI-generated song with Drake in The Weeknd went viral, sparking legal battles over stolen artistry. Without transparency, corporations can easily exploit AI to mass-produce content while human creators lose their jobs. And here's my other impact. Because a creative industry dominated by AI, where originality is replaced by cheap results. By requiring watermarks, we preserve economic fairness, ensuring AI remains a tool, not a simple thief. And before the nation can come up here and tell you that watermarking AI content will not stop copyright violations, I understand that that is true, but it makes them easier to catch. Just as DNA evidence helps solve crimes, AI watermarks help trace accountability, ensuring legal protections for our human creators. Now to conclude, in music, AI music gets taken down. In politics, they can take our democracy down. We can never afford a world where deception wins. So our only option today is to pass.
Thank you, Senator, for that speech of 2 minutes and 52 seconds. I repeat for the judges, 2 minutes and 52 seconds. Seeing as that was the first speech in the affirmation, there will now be a 2-minute questioning period. Will all with such questions please rise now? Senator Charbia?
Charbia. Is all misinformation generated in the United States?
It's all misinformation now.
So would any misinformation generated outside of this country fall under the jurisdiction of this bill?
So they wouldn't fall under the jurisdiction.
So wouldn't that make us more susceptible to malicious AI misinformation from other countries then?
Well, we still see regardless that it would happen here in the United States.
Yeah, but
so cutting down on
other countries could get to us
Please let me
better
finish
than...
my answer, Representative. So cutting down on any of this misinformation helps all constituents.
But wouldn't that make other countries easier to like mess with our elections and stuff like that if they generate
Senator Snyder?
disinformation?
I believe it would remain the same.
Alright, so hi. How are AI watermarks even made in the status quo?
AI watermarks are they're decoded. This legislation describes when the various be decoded in some way into it.
Alright, and then how can we actually trace these AI watermarks to see that they are AI generated?
So that's all under the FCC, under this legislation. They have to be clearly encoded that it is. They have.
So if you don't know the actual procedures today,
I
how
do
can you
the-
still stand on the affirmation?
So the procedures today are defined by the FCC. It's whatever they do. It must be clearly encoded. So there has to be a way that
Senator
we can
Bottrock?
figure it
In
out.
the status quo, how do we determine if a piece of content produced by a business needs an AI watermark or not?
Needs a watermark AI.
Yeah.
It depends. It
Are
depends
these
on
AI
its-
detection systems?
AI
Yes.
detection, some of them, yes.
And are these always accurate?
Not 100%.
So how can we risk our constituents' livelihoods on false positives, potentially false positives?
I don't understand your question.
If we have false positives at the AI detectors, doesn't that mean we have false positives in terms of
Well,
businesses
you're,
needing
well,
watermarks
you're
or
simply
not?
taking this away that they're always
Senator
false.
Dew?
Are watermarks actually effective, or can they be avoided by those bent on spreading misinformation?
Well, regardless today, any chance taken is better than none.
But the people who want to spread disinformation are dedicated to spreading that information. So if it's easy to avoid those watermarks, why should we pass?
It's not easy to avoid those watermarks. Under this legislation, they must be clearly encoded in the content.
So is there any empirical evidence that these watermarks are actually effective in the status quo?
This watermarks that.
Thank you, Representatives, you may take your seats.
Thank you.
The chair thanks you. Okay, seeing as that was a first speech in the affirmation, the chair is now seeking a first speech in negation. Will all such speeches please rise? Senator Banya?
I thank the chair. Hello there, fellow senators. My name is Senator Banya. For the judges, that is spelled B-A-N-I-Y-A. I'll begin when all those above me are ready. You don't throw water onto a grease fire to make it stop. You don't look down the barrel of a gun, and you don't mandate AI watermarks in order to curb misinformation. The entire affirmative argument is entirely predicated on false assumptions, and that is why this entire chamber needs to stand in negation. So first, I want to establish something right here for debate. AI watermarks do not work. The University of Maryland in October discovered in a study that they could break every single type of AI watermarking for images. Professor Feisey, who was in charge of the study, simply said, there is no hope. Now, when we talk about AI watermarks, there are two key kinds. The first one is a stamp on an image that identifies it as being AI, and the second one, under this legislation, encodes it into the metadata of the image. However, under the University of Maryland study, they discovered that the AI watermarks encoded into the image were just as easily removable as the watermarks being stamped on. Now second, I want to talk about 14-year-old Francesca Manni, who was a victim of pornographic AI deepfakes made of her and 30 others at her high school. These girls were humiliated and had their lives ruined with these images being spread. Now, this applies to today's legislation because even when we mandate AI watermarks, it is not the AI's fault that these images are being produced. It is an algorithm. It does what the people telling it wants it to do. When we mandate these AI watermarks, all we do is punish the businesses, not the actual people who are using these AI for nefarious purposes. For girls like Francesca Manni, we will still see these images being created with nothing to stop them. The United States does not have federal legislation that punishes false AI images being spread, and this legislation will not punish them either. But second, we fail because this legislation will not stop misinformation from being spread. The affirmation loves to ground themselves on the insistence that we fight misinformation with today's bill. Here's why that doesn't work in reality. The Center for Data Innovation in December tells us that the implementation of watermarks doesn't address the cause of misinformation. What causes misinformation is human people sharing it and algorithms promoting it. Again, misinformation spreads because of human nature, not because of a computer program. An analysis from MIT in 2024 tells us that if watermarks were mandated, online misinformation would flourish because it creates the perception that everything without a watermark is legitimate. Bad actors would utilize the newfound confidence in manipulated AI content to further spread misinformation. For those of you who may not know, don't throw water onto a grease fire, don't look down the barrel of a gun, and do not mandate AI watermarks. Stand with me and negate.
Thank you, Senator, for that speech of 3 minutes and 1 second. I repeat to the judges, 3 minutes and 1 second. Seeing as how it's the first speech in the negation, there will now be a 2-minute questioning period. Will always such questions please? Senator Hebert,
Hybrid, yeah. Hi, Senator. So with the legislation itself, do you think that the U.S. has a right in Section 1 where it says to hold all foreign AI content to this legislation? Do you think we have a right
If
to do
those
that?
foreign AI companies are operate based in the U.S., I believe that would be a percentage. But my entire point is that this legislation will not work in what it tries to
Right,
do.
so then you believe that we then have no right whatsoever to hold foreign
My
AI
speech is
companies
not
to
about
it.
the foreign implications of this,
Well, it's
but I
about the
don't believe that
legislation
we do.
that we're So do you believe that we have no right to do that then, correct?
No.
Thank you.
Senator Kern.
Hi, Representative. Can you elaborate on your point about how exactly this is going to be a failure?
So the very first point is that AI watermarks are very easily removable. Even if we encode them to the metadata, if you just type into Google AI watermark removal, you will find a bunch of different sites from
Right.
dozens of different companies
When our
that will
social
remove it
media
for free.
when our social media users see an image or a video, perhaps with the AI watermark, and they recognize that as AI and not attainable by human intelligence, wouldn't you consider that a success that they had that
Representative,
knowledge?
my point is that there are services
Senator Marks.
online.
Hi, Senator. So you champion the idea that there's no effective punishments for businesses utilizing AI images in the status quo, correct?
No. My point was that we have no federal legislation that punishes
This
the actual
is the federal
people.
legislation, is it not? Because as
No.
per Section 2 states,
Senator,
federal
I think
businesses,
you're misinterpreting my point.
$50,000.
This legislation punishes the businesses that are developing these algorithms. It does not punish the people that are actually
in
using
violation of this legislation, is that not violating the AI
Representative,
use?
my point is that the people who made the AI deepfakes were not the people that were running the businesses. It was the people in control.
Senator Vega.
So you stated in your first contention that the University of Maryland found that they can get around images, correct?
That they could break every single type of watermarking for AI images, yes.
So what % of this information is just images?
I don't have that exact statistic, but considering this legislation directly targets AI images, as you yourself said, by including the metadata.
So you have no clue what % of this information is images?
Actually, I can tell you that Euronews in 2023 discovered that the vast majority of AI
Thank you,
images.
Senators. You may take your seats.
I think, Chair.
The chair thanks you. Also, I'm so sorry that 30 questions